Hey guys, welcome to my review for Jurassic World Rebirth. I watched this over the summer. I'm just now catching up to reviewing the biggest summer movies. So I'm going to try and sort of review the big ones back to back. But for this video, it's going to be Jurassic World Rebirth. I generally did like it. So I'm going to explain why and how this movie, in my opinion, compares to the other ones. But I'm going to start off with the merch. Now, I don't really have much for Jurassic World. I just didn't want to bring cups from the kitchen, but the theaters have cups, so of course I bought cups for too many movies. But, so yeah, I have Jurassic World cups, and I do have the movies here. So I have the 4K 5-movie collection for Jurassic Park through Jurassic World. This is the first 5 movies, of course. The set, I do like the cover. I think it's pretty neat. It comes with the 4K and Blu-ray boxes, so you do get both in this set. And then the 6th movie, yay! I bought on 4K. I'm pretty sure I bought this during a Black Friday sale when it was like $9.99. I don't remember paying any more than that for it. It says the extended edition. I don't really know what it includes. Or it says on the back. It says includes, well, it just says extended and theatrical versions. There was a, I don't remember what it was called. I think it was the Battle at Big Rock or Battle at something Rock. That was like a short. I think I saw it on Netflix or something where they posted this short. It was like, it felt like it was less than a 10-minute video of basically some dinos attacking a family in an RV. It was random, and I saw the theatrical version. I've never watched the movie, having on physical media. So yeah, this movie was, well, we'll not get into that. So the only other merch I have a Funko Pop for the Mosasaurus, which I think was kind of cool. But I remember my brother was texting me, hey, do you want the Jurassic World Mosasaurus Funko Pop? I'm like, yeah, the Mosasaur, that's badass, yeah. And then I get the Mosasaurus Funko Pop, and he looks like a baby Pokemon. This is not the badass dinosaur I was expecting. But you know what? I love it. So, oh well. So for this movie, now the trailer, I did have some hype for it. I was intrigued by it. The trailer made it sound like it was going back to what the Jurassic Park themes basically were, where it's not so dinosaurs are a part of the world story. It's just characters going to an island, there's some dinosaurs there. But in this movie, they happen to be going after the biggest dinos. So for someone who was a big dinosaur fan growing up, I would just watch whatever had dinosaurs in it. And as a gamer, I love Ark Survival Evolved / Ascended. It's the game I'm addicted to right now, which has nothing to do with the movie, by the way. So, for someone who's seen the Titanosaur and the Mosasaur and the Giganotosaurus, someone's been fascinated by these large, over-the-top, large dinos. I was excited to see those in this movie. Even though the Giga wasn't a part of it, I'm thinking of the last crap movie, but it's in the game and I've been thinking about it, so just forget that comment. But this movie, we have the Mosasaur, the Titanosaur, and then they're going after the Quetzalcoatlus. I'm a gamer, guys. In Ark, it's called the Quetzal. That's what I know it as. So, for this movie, going after the biggest dinos was an interesting point, or an interesting plot point for me, because it feels like it's going bigger than before. It feels like they're trying to do more, and it has evolved a little bit, to where they're just surviving dinos, so now they're having to hunt for these dinos. So I was impressed by how they were able to make it feel a little different, at least. Now, in the shortest way I can simplify it, was the movie absolutely needed? No, but it was fun. So you have this high-tech company who wants to cure all these diseases, and they need samples from the 3 biggest dinos, so they got to get a group of people who's willing to go illegally to this island and get these samples. That's the plot. That's the entirety of the plot. So it's nothing complicated. It's not over the top. It's not convoluted like Jurassic World. Fallen Kingdom, is that what it's called? In the freaking mansion with the Brontosaurus and Tyrannosaurus Rex. And who has a house if you have a house that big, you don't need dinosaurs, okay? Anyway, so yeah, the plot was just simple and it was easy to digest. I loved the simplicity of it because when you go into a big dinosaur movie, you just want to see dinosaurs eat people. You don't want to see the complexities and the pros and cons of what dinosaurs could actually do for the economy. Would they harm it? Would they help? I just want to see dinosaurs eat people. That's all I want to see. And we got that. So the Mosasaur actually did get a lot more screen time in this movie than the previous 3 movies combined. I don't know if it was in the last movie at all. Jurassic World Dominion. I don't remember. If he was, I don't remember. But the Mosasaur gets a lot more screen time, and those action sequences I thought were pretty neat. You don't see much of the Mosasaur, but it creates these sort of intense scenarios where it's almost like it takes the idea of the less is more example and it sort of runs with that idea. And I think it works for these characters in this scene because we sort of have our set of characters, which we have Martin, this CEO tech guy, then you have Zora, and then you have Duncan, and then you have Dr. Henry Loomis. These are really your 4 main characters. You have some others, but those are your 4 main ones. And then you also have a family that their boat gets attacked by the Mosasaur and get rescued by our main character team. But when they group up, now they realize, oh, these guys are actually hunting the Mosasaur anyway, so now we're screwed all over again. So as they're trying to survive the Mosasaur attack, as they get closer to the island, the Spinosaurs actually help out the Mosasaur, which was cool to see Spinosaurs again. Now, I know a lot of people were sort of, they had mixed reactions to the design for the Spinosaur. It's hard to say, guys. I mean, personally, I watched Jurassic Park 3 a lot as a kid. I mean, I love the Spinosaur sequences in that movie. Thought the design was pretty cool. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is I didn't care enough about the design. I just thought it was cool the Spinosaurs getting screen time again. Because they swim around the water. And that's what we got more of in this movie than obviously the last time we saw Spinosaurs. So I do appreciate what they did with them. Could they have done more? Yeah. Could they have just done different? Maybe. But I'm happy with what we got. Like I said, a big dinosaur movie, I mean, you can't have too many critiques over this stuff. You just have to know that there's going to be some dumb stuff. It's going to look a little goofy. But if you turn your brain off, you just want to see dinosaurs eat people. That's what we're going to the theater to see. So, as they get to the island and survive the Mosasaur attack, the characters on the first boat, this family, they're separated from the main team. So they sort of have their side story throughout the movie, where they're sort of building their characters, where the young girl, she meets this baby dinosaur, and they're going from location to location, coming across other dinosaurs, barely. They don't really have to deal with them much and just see some dinosaurs. But with the main team, they pretty much, they get to, they have their Mosasaur sample, and as we sort of move the plot along, they get to the Titanosaur and they get their sample. That's really all there is to it. There really isn't anything complicated about it. Titanosaurs don't attack. It's just sort of the characters are in awe of the size of the dinosaurs, and they start to appreciate the existence of them a little bit, I think. It's what's portrayed here in the scene of them getting the Titanosaur sample. And after that, they go into the Quetzalcoatlus. They have to climb, the mountainside to go into what they believe would be the nest for it. And there are some complications. I was interrupted by just stuff going on to where I missed the scene of this. I missed the majority of their interaction with the Quetzalcoatlus. I actually missed the same scene twice, the 2 times I saw it. So I'm not going to talk too much about it. I know that I have seen, I think, most of it, where they're trying to get the sample from the egg, because it's easier than getting it from the adult itself. And so there's some tensions with, obviously they have the ropes that they're descending down into the cave, or if it yanks on the ropes, they're yanked off. And it does create some intense situations, and overall, I think one of the characters died. I think I missed that too. But, so yeah, the Quetzalcoatlus scene I thought was pretty neat for what I did see of it. And then, I don't remember if it was before the Quetzalcoatlus scene or after, but the side family, the side story they have is they have their interaction with the Tyrannosaurus Rex, where they see, the father, his leg is injured. They can't just traverse this whole island without a little help, so they find this boat they're going to try to get a raft from, but there is a sleeping Titanosaurus Rex next to, or Tyrannosaurus Rex, next to this boat. And so a lot of people are seeing online, why would you open the raft right in front of a sleeping Rex? But the movie did zoom in on the raft and said it has to be opened on land. So if she took it across the water, it was going to destroy it or damage it. I don't know how those inflatable rafts really work, but in the movie it zoomed in on do not take this to the water, basically. So she had to inflate the raft there, which of course woke up the Rex. And so as she gets the boat back over to her family and they start to move, the Rex turns around and sees them. And I do see some valid complaints is that the Rex moved incredibly slow, chasing them, where it wasn't moving around hardly, very fast at all, which is sort of opposite of what we've seen in the previous movies with Rexes chasing down people or other dinos. So, yes, this Rex was moving slow, but I loved the camera angle of how the scene was filmed, and it's filmed from the water point of view, where the camera point of view, you have the boat here and the Rex behind it. So the Rex is like the background of the shots for the scene. Most of the shots, the Rex is in the background, this looming threat as the characters are getting closer to the Rex instead of it filming from the Rex getting closer to the people. So it's really hard to explain exactly the way I felt the scene conveyed the terror in this scene, but I really loved how it was filmed. So yeah, the character did move a little, or the Rex did move a little slower, but I think it was able to build more intensity and threat and stakes. Just the way it was filmed, it created all those elements that I think it would have been tricky to film around if the Rex was just running down the side of the island, jumping into the water toward the boat. So overall, was it a perfectly shot scene? I guess not. But I absolutely loved it. And this is actually, in my opinion, my favorite part of the movie is the Rex chase scene. So after this, like I said, I don't know if the Rex scene was before or after the Quetzalcoatlus, but at this point, all of our characters now meet up in the main lab area for that engine used in the opening of the movie, where we saw this mutated dinosaur called the D-Rex. It gave us a small glimpse. So now that they get to this lab, and at night the power generators kick on, I guess, and all the lights are on and sound, which is going to attract all kinds of dinosaurs. We get a lot of, we can expect the D-Rex show up at this point. And I think the Mutodon is the name of the new birds they came up with, where it sort of has Velociraptor feet and Velociraptor and Pterodon head, kind of, but they have wings, but their hands are sort of curved like the way Velociraptors are. So this is really a Velociraptor and Pterodon mix. That's what the Mutodon is. I think, that's my opinion, that's what it looked like to me. So it does create some intense scenarios of it in Mutodon being in the gas station, walking around the aisles trying to look for the people. So that was kind of cool. The Mutodon, I just didn't think was a very interesting design. That was one of my few complaints from the movie. I just thought they were kind of boring looking, and the Mutodon didn't really do a whole lot. As a fan of the Jurassic Park part of the franchise, I would have much preferred them to just have Velociraptors in the Mutodon's place in this movie, because Velociraptors are seen for like less than 10 seconds in the movie. So a lot of Velociraptor fans are upset by the extreme minimal screen time, because it's a blink and you miss it kind of thing. They have more of a cameo than a part of this movie. But as they're escaping the Mutodons, obviously Martin, the guy that is in charge of his company, has the briefcase. He finds a vehicle, and he's trying to take off to the boat. He wants to leave the island. He's ready to abandon everyone else. So he's taken off. Our rest of characters are trying to survive the Mutodons. And Zora also has a chopper team with helicopters. They're going to come look for survivors at night. So they're trying to race against time a little bit. And this is where all these different dinosaurs are sort of colliding. And this is how I think they did a really good job creating a climactic ending, having so much going on at once, but they're all simple stories where you sort of just stress out over wondering who's going to survive, what's going to get accomplished, and who's going to make it out of the scenario. So obviously the D-Rex does in fact show up and attacks a couple people. It's just sort of this creepy presence. I know the design was based off of a T-Rex. It was based off of a xenomorph from Alien. It was based off of the Rancor from Star Wars. I do see the similarities in the design. I thought the D-Rex was just kind of ugly, which I guess in some ways horrifying creatures can look ugly, like Predator. Predator, I think, has been a successful franchise, and Predator's ugly, but people love Predator. I didn't love the D-Rex. I just thought it was okay. I did appreciate, as opposed to the Indominus Rex, that the D-Rex had minimal screen time, because you can focus on more of the classic dinos that people want to see more of, like the Mosasaur and the T-Rex. So limiting its screen time was not a complaint of mine at all. He was just the big ugly dinosaur to show up in the end. What the previous 3 movies did that this one did not was have two big dinos in a showdown. They didn't have that in this movie, and I thought that was perfectly fine because it was a little clumsy in some of the other movies, especially the last one, which I barely remember because I just didn't really like it. But in Jurassic World, the T-Rex versus the Indominus, it was cool at first when you see it in the theaters, and then on a rewatch, it doesn't make sense. So, for this movie, skipping a showdown I thought was cool. Duncan tries to make the sacrifice play to lure the D-Rex away from the boat so that the characters can't get away. He ends up surviving, though, so they do get him onto the boat in the end after all, as they do sail away from this island, this dreaded island, with the cure now, because Martin has been killed. The D-Rex killed him himself. And so, basically, Zora and Henry and Duncan, they all agree, okay, we're going to give the secrets of this, dramatic cure to everyone. So everyone has a piece of information how to replicate it. So it is a happy ending. If this was a standalone, I think that's perfectly fine. It sounds like it was successful enough to make another, which, of course they're going to want to make another one. So we'll see how it is. I hope that the next one has enough, they pay enough attention to the quality of it, more than just making another movie just for the sake of making another movie. When it comes to the Jurassic World trilogy versus Jurassic World Rebirth, the characters in Jurassic World Rebirth I thought were just more likable. So if these characters come back, I'm going to root for them because I actually like their character development. I like their chemistry between themselves and the other characters. So I actually did like the cast. I thought that the interactions between all the characters was just better. Don't get me wrong, I think Chris Pratt is a great actor. I love his roles. I just thought he was the more least interesting. He was more of the less interesting parts of the 3 Jurassic World movies. So, that might be a hot take, but that's just how I felt about his presence in the movies. I think that with different writers, he could have made his storyline a little more interesting. I just felt like he had that Indiana Jones wannabe vibe when he couldn't really accomplish anything because he's just a guy against dinosaurs. So it just felt like it was a little off. This movie I thought was done perfectly well. So, yeah, was it a perfect movie? No. Were there issues with it? Yeah, there were a little bit. But overall, like I said, you go into a new dinosaur movie, you just want to see dinosaurs eat people. That's what we got. That's what I expected. That's what we got. So, there's just not a lot of complaints. There are some, but there's not a lot. This was a fun movie. I think Gareth Edwards is a fantastic director. I think I've seen multiple of his movies, and I've loved every single one of them. I thought he did a great job with this one, so yeah, I'm excited to see where this franchise goes from here. So thank you guys for watching. Keep it digging. I'll see you next time.